Hello, welcome to the Amazing Nerdiverse. I'm Jeff Grant.
I'm Steven Tucker.
It's a podcast where we talk about all things good and geeky in the Amazing Nerdiverse. So this episode we're going to be doing a couple movie reviews. We had a couple of them building up, so we're going to take care of them. First up, we're going to do a couple of spoiler-free reviews. We're going to do some non-spoiler reviews of a couple movies that I saw. Then we're going to do some spoiler reviews.
Toy Story 2.
Nope.
Oh.
First up, this past week... Before we jump into these, I wanted to plug, we're going to be doing spoiler reviews for Alien Covenant and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. But if you haven't seen the film yet, because, Alien Covenant isn't even out yet as of this recording, right? It came out tonight. We're recording on Thursday.
So this is, we're doing time travel again?
Yep. It's always time travel. We record, and then it doesn't come out for a few days.
Unless you wait like 2 or 3 months to listen to this.
Yeah, then you're just behind. You're time traveling. The listener's time traveling. Whoa. Going back months into the past. Whoa, man. It's blowing my mind, bro.
Steven, be careful.
I'm going to create a flashpoint here with all this time travel nonsense. If you don't want to get anything spoiled for those movies, we do have our Alien Covenant and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 reviews up on the YouTube channel, The Amazing Nerdiverse. All right. First up, another movie I saw. We were talking about it. King Arthur: Legend of the Sword.
Oh, you saw that?
I saw that movie this week. Yes, I did.
All right. You can literally spoil all of it for me.
Well, I'm not going to spoil it.
I'm just saying that if you want to, go for it, because I give zero amount of interest.
Well, here's the thing. I don't really know much about the King Arthur lore or any of that. And also, you're not the only one listening. Like, just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean there's other people out there that might not want to see it.
I know King Arthur. He got the ring, and then
there's no ring.
Frodo went to the what do you call it?
There's no Frodo.
Mount Zion, and then they threw it in the Sarlacc pit, right?
Okay, something like that. Look, truthfully, I don't know I'm not well versed in the King Arthur legend. I don't know from Goose Fat Bill. I don't know these things. There's a guy named Goose Fat Bill
in the movie.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
I don't know, but like the thing is, like, and like even I couldn't really go into spoilers that much. A lot of time I had no idea what the hell was going on. But like,
if I wanted to,
yeah, even if I wanted to, yeah. But like, truthfully, like it was a very much like a Guy Ritchie film. It felt very much his style, which is great. And I don't think everyone's gonna like this movie. I had fun with it, but I can't say it's a great movie or anything like that. Like I had fun with parts of it and stuff.
Did the Transformers make a cameo?
Yeah, of course.
What? It's in the Transformers: The Last Night, or whatever it is. I
know.
Shame on me for guessing.
Anthony Hopkins showed up, called him dude.
Brah.
Called King Arthur dude.
What's up, bro? Wanna do some night shit?
Here's the thing, though. Like, I like Charlie Hunnam. I was a big fan of Sons of Anarchy, and I liked him in this movie. I think he's like the perfect Guy Ritchie version of King Arthur. Like, and they had that, like I was saying, it was very much in that Guy Ritchie style. There was a lot of, just that like kind of banter back and forth. These characters, like these jump cuts, it's like, look, I'm telling you, we're not going there, and then cut to them in the boat right out. Right, it's like, all right, we're here, and like shit like that, just like funny jumping around stuff. It was enough to keep me interested, but half the time I had no idea what the hell was supposed to be happening. It was also late to it when we got there. I was waiting for people, and like we were like about 5-10 minutes late, so that always just immediately pisses me off.
Yeah,
gets me in just like that. Like, well, now I dare you to entertain me, movie.
Yeah,
like it's the movie's fault.
Oh, you mean the thing that was posted?
Yeah, you mean the scheduled time that you knew well before you bought your tickets.
It's its fault.
Yeah,
for being a machine.
Look, like I said, not everyone will like this movie. Some people might love it. Some people might hate it. But the unfortunate thing is, I hate to see a movie fail.
Is this the different thing where Is this like the story where like the dude pulls a sword out of a stone?
Yeah.
Is that this?
Sword in the stone, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, King Arthur pulls
Did I throw you off because I asked a real
stone.
question?
Yeah, actually, I was like, where's this asshole going with this? So, I don't like to see any movie fail. Like, I like to see stuff
I
succeed.
bet you would.
Whatever. I mean, there's certain things that like if it failed, I wouldn't cry about it. But this one, like, it's unfortunate. Like, this movie cost $175 million to make.
Mm-hmm.
This is a huge budget, and like
horses.
Yeah, horses are expensive.
Mm-hmm.
About 160 of that was horse money.
Horse budget.
But yeah, so
saddles alone.
They're saying, like, THR is saying this movie could stand to lose about $150 million. It was expected to make $25 million opening. It only made 14.7 in its opening weekend.
The way it sounds, that ain't bad.
I mean, it was expected to make like almost twice as much,
right.
And it did not come close to that. And
what did it come out against?
Nothing really. Like
really?
There wasn't anything big coming out the same weekend that I know of off the top. Nothing I was looking forward to.
Was Guardians before or
Guardians
after?
was the week before. I mean, Guardians was still the number one. I mean, yeah, definitely. Like, it might have made more if it wasn't like the week after Guardians. Guardians still stayed on the top.
I'll bet you if it was reversed, they're like, nothing's out yet. Let's just see that.
Yeah.
That transform, like, it'd be great to see the guy that confuses like Transformers and King Arthur. He's like, they're both kind of similar, I think.
Yeah, but I didn't know where's Mark Wahlberg.
Where's Optimus? Not where's Optimus Prime. He's looking for Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg's like, cool sword, bro.
Is that sword a Transformer?
Got a couple of Transformers. All right. Yeah, like it's a bummer. Like, he's supposed to be doing Aladdin next, Guy Ritchie.
Oh.
I don't know about that one. That one has me. There's all kinds of red flags on that one. Aladdin's like one of my favorite Disney movies of all time, and it's not quite like the Jungle Book, or like how I've got my fingers crossed. I'm really hoping Lion King's good. It's not like one of those kind of Disney movies where I can see it transferred to live action and I can see it working in that vein. It's also not like Cinderella apparently was good. I hadn't seen Cinderella, but one of those kind of traditional like fairy tale kind of stories and seeing that I don't know. Aladdin's tricky. That one makes me nervous. But
really, why does that one make you nervous?
The genie, to be honest, like Genie, like how are they gonna live up to that Robin Williams legacy?
I think the only way you
like
could do that is let you go like a totally different.
Yeah.
If you try to do that.
Well, if you try to do that, people will hate it. If you do something completely different, people will hate it for not doing what. Like I think that's a lose-lose situation. Like. It's gonna be tough, man. He's gonna have like a huge uphill climb. Whereas he said recently, they haven't cast the genie.
Oh, okay.
They haven't cast anybody for that one.
Okay.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that's still in development. It's probably gonna be a little ways off from happening. They just kind of announced it a couple months ago, and but he recently said that he would be interested in doing Suicide Squad 2 if he had time.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, he should do that one. Like he should do that one's probably closer to happening just simply because, it's a sequel. The series is already established. They can get the ball rolling on that one easier than they could with Aladdin.
What do you think of The Rock as the genie?
Yeah, I mean I'd see it.
It's pretty. Or you know what? They should do Christopher Lloyd. Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito is the genie.
All right, I'm the genie. Okay, 3 wishes. Here we go.
I think
Garbage.
Will Smith is
garbage.
the name that was kicked around for the genie. Someone else said
Chris Evans.
Someone else said Kevin Hart was one of the people they were talking about, and then someone pointed out, I can't remember. Someone's like, no, Kevin Hart should be Iago, and I was like, yeah, that's actually perfect casting.
Which one's Iago?
The Gilbert Godfrey parrot.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Like Kevin Hart as the parrot would be amazing, and then The Rock is the genie.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart.
What was that movie the two of them did?
Central Intelligence.
That was pretty good.
Yeah,
I liked it.
I did too. I had fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing Jumanji next. Those guys like working together.
Oh, the Kevin Hart and The Rock are going to be in Jumanji?
Yeah, and Jack Black and Karen Gillan from Guardians.
Shut up. They're all going to be in there?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it comes out in December.
Okay.
Another Robin Williams movie.
Are they going to fight a rhinoceros?
Hope so.
You know what? If they have that, what was it? There's like one shot where like there's just a slow rhinoceros in the back. I think if they get that joke in again, I'd be really happy. I don't know why.
All right.
I just like that joke.
The slow rhinoceros running by after everything.
Do you remember they did this one bit in The Simpsons where like a zoo like broke out, and then Homer, it was like a zoo, like all the animals were rampaging through the streets, and then Homer jumped up on a car and he yelled out Jumanji, but it didn't. He's like, damn it didn't work.
I like that.
Like just shouting it's gonna.
So back to King Arthur. Charlie Hunnam.
Right.
I like the guy.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's a little bit of a bummer for me. Like, he hasn't really gotten a huge shot he's done King Arthur. This movie didn't go well. Pacific Rim didn't do great here,
really?
But overseas it did well enough. Like in
I really liked
in
that
China,
movie.
so I did too. But he's not coming back for the second one. And like I don't know, but like what I still want is I want him to play Green Arrow. He's been my choice for Green Arrow, like in the movies all along.
Why? Is it just because of the goatee?
No, I just think I think he would totally fit that character, like the version of that character that I would love to see.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, yeah, he could pull off the goatee. And everything, but
what's the version of Green Arrow that you're? So it's.
I would like to see.
Would you have him play it more Robert Downey Jr.-esque?
No. I see. The version I would like to see is the Green Arrow. I mean, they'll never do the Green Arrow from like, the Neil Adams stuff with the cap and the goatee and that exact version of it, the more Robin Hood-y version of it. But like, I really like what they're doing now with the DC Rebirth, which is kind of a mix between that and like the hood and everything. And so I'd want to see like Charlie Hunnam as that version, like because he said a while back that he wasn't interested in that role. He said, here's this quote. He said, this is in March.
Fuck this noise.
He said, I didn't grow up a comic book fan, and I haven't really seen any of those Marvel movies or the Batman films. It's just not really my taste. I must confess I don't really know who the Green Arrow is. It's not part of my vision for my career or what I aspire to. That's what he said back in March.
It'd be great to read a text from his agent, like, to him. It says, like, would you be interested in playing Green Arrow? And his text back is, who dat?
Who dis? Well, this week he said, he's like, I'm not a fan of the comic book, so I don't know why people are always asking me about Green Arrow. He says, do I look like him? Well, then come on, DC, what's up? Give me a call. So, like, he's kind of changed his tune recently, and maybe because this movie's not doing all that great and all this stuff, he's like, you know what? Yeah, DC, call me. I'll put on a mask and a hood. I'll be your Robin Hood.
How quickly that tune changes.
Yeah, but, I mean, if that's the reason, whatever the reason, I'd be down, because I think he would really...
Down to clown?
Yeah, I'd be down to clown. What they should do is they should do that, because, like, what are you going to do with the Green Arrow movie? There's been 5 seasons of the show on TV. Just like with The Flash, how, like, what are you going to do with The Flash now that there's a TV show of it?
Gorilla City.
Do, like, with the Flash movie, they should do, like, a Flashpoint thing and stuff, because that's, like, one of the biggest Flash stories in the past, like, 40 years or whatever. Now, for Green Arrow, what are you going to do? There was that great idea for a movie a few years back.
Oh,
David
he's in the prison?
Yeah, wrote a script called Green Arrow Escape from Supermax, where Green Arrow gets,
got.
Yeah. Well, he gets sent to prison for a crime he didn't commit, and he gets sent to this Supermax prison, like a maximum security, high-tech, crazy facility designed to keep supervillains in. And he's stuck in there with all these supervillains that him and his buddies put in there. And I think that would be an awesome Green Arrow movie to see. I've always wanted them to do that on the show. Like, do that, maybe not a season of Arrow, but do that, like, as one of their story arcs.
Yeah.
Like, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
All right, anyway, King Arthur, I'd give that a 6 out of 10 Excaliburs.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of right on the line of, like, I enjoyed it enough. There was enough things I liked about it, and really what I liked about it is all the Guy Ritchie isms. And
would you buy it on Blu-ray?
Probably not, unless it was, like, a discount. I'm like, $5 bin. I'm like, I'll grab that. It wasn't that bad.
Okay.
But, yeah, it wasn't... It was all right. He was good in it. That was my main thing, is he was good in it, and I enjoyed that part of it, like the Guy Ritchie banter and stuff. All right, so the other movie I wanted to talk about is called Batman and Bill. It's on Hulu. It's a documentary about Bill Finger, the real co-creator of Batman that never got the credit.
I really zoned out for like 1 second. What is it on?
Hulu.
Okay, Hulu.
What?
I only missed the the what program it was on.
Yeah, it's on Hulu now. I've been looking forward to this. We like for a while. There's a guy. Mark Tyler Nobleman is an author and everything, and he's one of the guys that's been fighting to try to get Bill Finger the credit for years and years now, for like 10 years now. And he was on Kevin Smith's podcast talking about this. I know you've on Fat Man on Batman. I know you're also a big Kevin Smith fan. You listen to those and stuff, so I'm sure you've heard that episode talking about that. It's a fascinating story, and this movie Batman and Bill kind of chronicles his journey working on that. And Bill Finger is a guy who was ghostwriting all of these stories with Bob Kane, like back at the beginning, and he came up with all of the things that we really know as Batman. He came up with like Bruce Wayne, he created Robin, Joker, Penguin, Scarecrow, Catwoman, Riddler, Commissioner Gordon, Alfred, Gotham City. He named Gotham City. Like, he came up with Batman's origin. Like, Bob Kane came up with the name Batman. And that's
really
pretty much, I mean, yeah, like even like they show like, it's
So then what was Bill gonna call him? Did he have any like working titles for
No. Bob Kane came up with the concept of a character called the Batman.
I see.
It was the
started
Dash
there,
Man.
and
He even drew
Bob Kane did.
Bob Kane, yes.
Okay.
Bob Kane even drew like a version of it, but it was like a guy in like a red suit and like a little Robin kind of mask and like
Santa Claus,
big stiff like bat wings and stuff. And Bill Finger was like, what you should do is like make it look more like a cowl, like make it shaped like a bat, and give it wings with like the little or a cape with a little like scallop like kind of edges. Yeah, the McDonald's arches down at the bottom, and make it dark, like make it look like if he's a guy, he's like a creature of the night, make him look like dark so he can blend into the shadows and stuff like that.
Then Bob Kane said, "Put nipples on him."
No, that was another guy.
Oh.
Another guy who we do not talk about. No, but like it's just fascinating. Like this guy was working with another guy this whole time, and like he was working with this guy, a ghostwriter, and they had like a handshake agreement or whatever on this. Then Bob Kane turns around and sells it to National Comics and stuff, which is formed like DC, and like his name was the only one that was credited for all these years until last year, when finally at the same time on Batman vs Superman and Gotham, they finally gave him credit.
So would you be upset if a guy that you knew came up with like comic book characters, and the guy you came up with it like sold it for like $1 billion, but you didn't get any credit or money? Would you be upset?
Yeah, I'd be pretty upset.
Okay, I should probably go.
I noticed you've been dressing a little snazzier lately. So yeah, like it talks about him like trying to track down Bill Finger's, he didn't know if he had any living relatives and stuff like that, and that's really what it was going to take to get this done and everything. So it's definitely a fascinating watch. I would check it out on Hulu. I'd give it a 9.5 out of 10 because it is fascinating. Yeah, interesting. Makes you really hate Bob Kane. Like it's super shitty. Like there's a scene where he's like, it's a clip from like a TV show where him and Stan Lee are talking, and Stan Lee is like, "Oh, if you don't know this guy," he's like, "Well, what is it that people know you for?" He's like, "Oh, I stumbled upon a character named Batman," and he kind of says like, "Oh, I stole it," like kind of like slyly, but then like in retrospect,
because
like,
of it,
yeah, and because of this, you're like, oh, like he's just flat out saying this stuff, and like inside his head, he knows that that's true. But everyone else just looks at it and goes like, oh yeah, that's just a funny joke. Of course he created it, but like, super shitty. And like the worst is like Bill Finger died in the 70s, and he was like alone. And
when did Batman
in a shitty
become
apartment?
like? Because I know now it's like everyone knows Batman, but like in the 70s was Batman.
Well,
it's hard for me to gauge.
That was after the 60s. In the 60s,
I thought he came out in the 40s.
Well, he came out in the 40s, but the 60s was the TV show.
Gotcha.
And that's when the character jumped into a whole new stratosphere.
Okay, yeah. All right.
So after that, and like, oh god, I don't want to spoil too much of the documentary, but the part that like was really just like ultimately depressing, and like touching in a way is like he never had his name on any of the comics. Bill Finger's name was never in any of the comics in his lifetime, and the only thing he did is he lived in the same apartment building as a writer for the 60s Batman show. And they actually wrote an episode of the show together. And he's like it was like written by Charles something and Bill Finger. And he was like, this one time, can my name be first? I was like, oh. It's like, so he's like, yeah, of course it is. So it's Bill Finger and thing. And so he said in this apartment, he lived in the shitty apartment, had a shitty little like 10-inch black and white TV. And his friend was like, no, you got to see this in color, man. And like they go to the was it NBC or offices or whatever, or ABC I think. And they go to the offices and they watch it on the big color TV there.
Yeah.
And he's like watching it and just seeing his creation basically come to life on the screen, and just written by Bill Finger is the only credited thing he ever had of Batman. It's a fucking depressing story, man.
Yeah.
But it's got a positive ending, because like this stuff, I mean, not to spoil it, but if you saw Batman vs Superman, his name is finally included in the credits now. And like after 75 years, it's about damn time.
Yeah.
But it's really cool.
Yeah.
Or closer to 80 now. Wow. 2019 is the 80th anniversary of Batman. That's when the Batman is supposed to come out. Anyway, so those are our non-spoiler movie reviews. Let's jump into the spoiler reviews now. Okay, so if you haven't seen Alien Covenant, spoiler alert.
E.T.
If you're watching on YouTube, I'll throw a spoiler alert up on the thing.
Can you put a picture of E.T. up?
Yes. Sure. Probably not going to do that. But
I'll forget.
I'll flash it intermittently, just like for like a brief second. Just
do it.
A quick flash of ET. Okay, so Alien Covenant.
Right.
We saw that.
Alien Cabinet.
Last week. Saw it early. Press screening. Got to see that. Our review is already on the website, so if you haven't seen it, one last time. Spoiler alert warning.
Go see it one more again.
Yeah. So now let's talk about it. We can talk about the highlights and stuff of the film, and we can talk a little bit more and go in a little bit more in depth with some of the stuff we wanted to talk about. So yeah, let's talk about what did you like about the movie before we get into being negative and stuff like that.
Before we get into being negative, like I said in the video before, I just like the visuals. I like the style of everything.
Yeah.
I like Michael Fassbender.
Mm-hmm.
I like both versions of him that he played.
Yeah, David. He played David from Prometheus, and he played a new character named Walter, the newer model.
Whenever you say Prometheus, I just think of that old
Kablam show.
Yeah, Prometheus and Bob. Yeah. That's all I can think about whenever I hear it. I'm like, oh, that'd be a great movie.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it looked great. You're right. It definitely looked great. There was some really great stuff. Like, I mean, even before they get to the planet and space, all that stuff.
Anything that I don't, it's not due to the quality of the movie. I just the hopelessness I don't like.
Yeah, it's more of a for you it's more of a like. I mean, this is just you're not a big horror movie fan.
No.
You're not a big kind of fan of that kind of genre. I mean, it's not that this is a straight horror movie.
A lot of like the characters that get got, it's like they don't deserve it. They didn't do anything.
Some of them do, man.
Like what? Like who? Which I can't remember.
In this movie, at least there's one guy that was kind of a dick.
Which one?
The guy who's in charge after James Franco dies. I feel like he's
captain?
Kind of a I
don't know. I mean,
he's not.
Homeboy's just trying to do his job.
He's not like a super bad guy or anything. He just was kind of a dick. I don't know. That's the bar for me. For me, if you kind of say something a little shitty to someone, I'll kill him.
Dude, I don't know. Like, Homeboy's just trying to do his job, and then he's like, "Oh God, they're all gonna want to go to this planet, so I'm just gonna do it," and then everyone dies.
You were saying in our spoiler-free review that you like when these people are dying and stuff, you think about they were little kids once.
I really do every single time. I'm like, God, that's how they end. And it was how arrogant of those things that jump up on your face and impregnate your body with their alien. How arrogant
Of the face huggers.
Yeah, like just how
Inconsiderate.
the audacity to just like a flying squirrel leap into your face and say, "I'm gonna put a baby in you." Fuck you, alien.
Yeah.
Who are you?
That's
I don't owe you shit.
It's just fascinating to me the places where your head goes and these kind of things. For me, I'm just like, oh, that looked cool, or like, oh, that was awesome. Like, I don't know, like, I've always loved the genre, the horror movies, like the sci-fi stuff like that. I've always found that stuff fascinating, but like,
Why?
the movie in those
What
movies,
is it about seeing people just get
got?
Yeah. What is it? Why does that
I always
excite
feel like
you?
because here's my point of view. Whereas you always just assume everybody's just minding their own business and stuff like that, and that they were kids once. I come in the opposite. I'm like, fuck everyone until you make me like them. Like, you have to earn my like and me not wanting the character to get got.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, make me care for them. I fucking dare you to.
It's not for me. It's not that like make me care for them. I'm in the middle of the road to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like they're just hanging around. There's no need. I know nothing about this character. Why do they have to?
Yeah,
you know what
I'm
Whereas,
assuming
like, when we saw
everyone deserves
Logan,
it until proven otherwise.
See, it's like every 2 seconds in Logan, he's like slicing somebody up.
Yeah,
but it's people who deserve it.
Yeah,
like all those like henchmen and stuff. They're like chasing little kids through the woods. They need to get got.
Yeah, true.
And like even in the very beginning of Logan, when like he's just literally sleeping.
Yeah,
and they just start like messing with his car where they stealing the tires.
Yeah.
And then they shoot him.
Yeah.
Like, all right, get him.
Yeah.
So like in Aliens, nobody's.
They're
just not messing with anyone's tires.
Minding their own business, and then they got woken up.
Yeah.
In the first Alien.
Okay.
I thought I don't know why I would jump to that one. I'm like, oh yeah, there's a new Alien movie that we can talk about that we're actually supposed to be talking about right now. I don't know why I jumped to the first Alien. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, same thing. Like they were asleep. They were woken up, by the difficulties and stuff. Mm-hmm. That's the one annoying thing is as I was talking about before, we were late to this movie as well.
Yeah.
So we missed the beginning of it.
That's all right.
We don't know how James Franco died.
I don't know, some accident. Yeah. I'm sure the captain didn't want that.
Well, he was the captain.
Yeah. Who? James Franco?
James Franco was the captain.
All right, so even more reason for me to like homeboy as the new captain. He's like, God, now I gotta do this. Everyone's gonna hate everything I say. Why are you the captain now? Ugh, everything you're doing is wrong. Nah, nah, nah. Bitch, bitch, bitch.
Well, I see it as more of like he was the one that ultimately made the final call to go to this planet that they found when they were supposed to be going to the other planet that they had
on the assumption that everyone was gonna be bitching about staying the course and shit.
Yeah, like
so he's like, all right.
Whereas where Catherine Waterston's character Daniels, she's the only one that was like, no, like that's not the mission or whatever.
Oh yeah, how convenient this time. She's
well, who survived?
Short hair lady.
Yeah, Daniels.
Do you think they gave her the short hair to kind of because Sigourney Weaver had short hair in the other one, right?
She had long hair in the. She had long hair in the first Alien.
Did she?
It was a little shorter, but like still kind of puffy and stuff in Aliens.
I thought they were kind of doing like a throwback to that. That's
full
what
bald.
I thought it was.
No, her hair.
Oh, okay.
Her hair isn't really like Ripley's hair in any of the other movies.
Okay.
She got shorter hair as the series went on. Like she had long, like crazy curly hair. Then like it was a little bit shorter, like curly hair.
Yeah.
Then completely bald in the third one. And then then long again. The fourth one.
Well, because he can't go shorter.
Yeah. He couldn't keep that trend alive.
She shaves off her eyebrows.
I liked a lot about this movie. I liked a lot. I actually did like a lot, but at the end of the day, like I was disappointed because I had such high hopes. Like I liked all of the stuff with the aliens, the action sequences and stuff like that. But in a 2-hour movie, which it wasn't it wasn't overly long or anything like that. It shouldn't really drag like it kind of did, and a little like in some places and everything. And you know, like really, they were doing. This movie had a couple of jobs. You know, it was not only was it a prequel to Alien, it was also a sequel to Prometheus. Now, Ridley Scott did Prometheus, and you know, it was mixed. Like some people love that movie, some people hate that movie. I don't necessarily love it. I liked it for what it was. Like when I first saw it, I was a little disappointed because I knew it was supposed to be part of the alien mythology and that world, and it didn't have enough of that in that first movie to like appease that part of me as a fan. But like I got it for what they were going for. This movie started off with a lot of that. It felt like a mix between the first Alien and Prometheus in like the first half of the movie and everything. And then it switched gears like in the latter half of the movie to like a more Aliens, like hard, like, you know, big action movie kind of thing. And while I enjoyed both halves of those as a whole, it didn't really feel cohesive. Like, you know, it seemed like they were like, you could see the point in the middle of the movie where like you go like flip switches, like, all right, now we're doing this now.
Yeah.
And it kind of, I don't know, there was some cool stuff in it. Like here's one of the things, like fans of Prometheus might not like this movie, and I referred to this in my written review and couldn't really go into detail, but I'm going to do that now. They
show aliens.
Yeah. No, so they show like this flashback in the middle of the movie of them arriving on that planet where they're at now. And they show all the engineers from Prometheus, that species of alien, and like they're like essentially they're the ones that created life in the galaxy, like kind of is like the kind of story that Ridley Scott was telling with those. And like in the beginning of Prometheus, you see one of them visit like a planet that could be Earth, not sure if it is or not, but he's like on a waterfall, and and he just like opens this thing, and it's this liquid and stuff, and he drinks it, and he falls into the water, and like it like breaks apart. Yeah, it's a really weird scene, but
why would you do that?
I mean, it's kind of abstract in a way. It's not like specifically laid out, but essentially what it looked like he was doing is he's like, this was him creating life on this planet. And it was like kind of like a sacrifice thing, like he sacrifices himself to create life on a planet and everything. So David finds these beings. They went looking for them in Prometheus. They finally find them in this movie, but everybody on the crew of Prometheus is dead except for him and the girl. And then they get there. He had put her to sleep, and then he ends up using her as like experiments with the alien creatures. And he takes these things and just
such a shitty robot.
These things with the aliens in them, like the alien stuff in them, and drops them on the engineers, and then they all just start dying. It was a really cool like scene. It looked beautiful. It was like horrific and beautiful the way in its execution at the same time. But
people dying is beautiful to you?
Well, the visuals and stuff was all really well done. But like if you like Prometheus, that scene can come off really like kind of shitty. Like, oh well, that was, you know, we were building up to this moment where they met these engineers and stuff, and he just shits on them and drops these aliens on them and kills everybody.
It's life.
Yeah, it is. And like, so I mean, I'm not the biggest Prometheus fan in the world, so like, I just kind of liked it okay, so it didn't bother me. It was just kind of a cool looking thing that happened in the movie. But like, for people who are big fans of Prometheus, that was kind of a letdown, I'm sure, for some people. Here's the biggest issue I had, and we talked about this in my review as well, with you know, just the problem with prequels in general is like when they explain too much and you lose all the magic. And specifically how I feel they did that in these movies. And it even starts back in Prometheus, because they kind of did a little bit of that. Basically, you know, in the first Alien movie, they get a signal from this planet. They go to the planet. There's one of those giant ships, like you saw in Prometheus, with the space jockey, which is the original, like, you know, fan term for the engineers. And
it's a weird name.
That's just what they called him, because it was like a giant thing sitting on this thing. And they kind of made it seem like the engineers created the aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not sure if that was the intention exactly, but if so, I don't really like that. Like the idea that that the engineers created the aliens as weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't have any problem with like a race of aliens like the engineers using the xenomorphs as weapons. But the idea of them like kind of creating them
Well, then
as
if they
weapons,
created all the...
yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. I haven't really. I mean, you're not. Yeah, but I don't know. I just kind of I've always liked the idea of like this is just an alien race out there that are just this dangerous and everything, and they not like I don't know. Yeah, I guess you're right. If they created everything, but like there was like those things that he dropped. I don't. They look kind of like vases or some shit like that. Just this like cylinders of the alien stuff that he dropped down. That's like they had a bunch of those in their ship or whatever. And I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that idea. Of like, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with them using them as weapons and stuff like that because they would be effective ass weapons to use on if you're trying to wipe out a whole population.
Yeah.
But as we see in the movie, we see probably how that was intended to be done, which I guess is kind of cool. But yeah, just the idea, and then like, I mean, am I wrong, or were they implying that David created the idea, the concept of like the egg and the face hugger, like that exact, like, you know, I'm not entirely sure. Like,
I mean, probably because he was doing a bunch of experiments.
He was doing a bunch of experiments and stuff, and it seemed like he's basically what took the crude versions of the aliens and stuff that the engineers had and kind of developed them into what we know as the aliens. And I'm like, I don't need that. I mean, like, because the aliens, like, it's all dependent upon.
Well, then what else are the prequels gonna be?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. The prequels don't always have to be explain how everything comes to be the way it is. Like, prequels can just be stories that happened before the other stories. Like,
Rogue One explained.
Well, that's different. That explains. Like, no, that's a different kind of thing. Where that just explains like an untold chapter of history. Right. That's what the Star Wars prequels were for the most part. But they did a couple things in those movies, like explain the Force and the midichlorians and bullshit like that. Those are the problems I have where they explain too much, and it's like, well, that's not.
Well, how do you decide?
It changes your outlook on the original films that you fell in love with.
Yeah.
You know, just like I feel like this movie changes that because, like, oh, so David created that kind of stuff. And...
Is it kind of like if you watch Ghostbusters, they spend zero time. How did they build all their equipment?
Yeah,
zero time.
It doesn't matter.
You just jump into it and you get it.
Yeah.
So is it
like
that?
They're geniuses. That's all I need to know.
So if they jump into it and explain, oh, Egon did this and this, that would ruin that movie.
Yeah,
for
like
you
if they did a prequel where it showed Egon like going to the hardware store and buying all the parts he needed.
Actually, I'd pay $1 billion to see that.
Oh yeah,
like he's
that bad example. But like that's what they do with these prequels is they have to kind of answer all of these questions that don't really need to be answered.
But how do you determine what questions people want answered and what questions they don't?
I mean, what? I mean, I don't know. I never really had any questions about the Alien movies. I never had any questions about where they came from. Now here's like if they did I mean, this wouldn't even have to be a prequel, but like if they did I mean, in the first 4 Alien movies, all we really saw of them were, you know, they were these killing machines that like, you know, that they have this interesting life cycle of, you know, they're the egg, then they come out as a face hugger,
arrogant,
impregnate a person or a dog or a
dog.
There's a dog in the 3rd movie that the alien comes from, and that's why the alien in Alien 3 looks different.
I'm never fucking watching those movies now. It hurts the dog.
Where are you going to before?
There was like a small slim chance, but it's gonna.
I mean, 3 and 4 suck anyway.
But they're gonna do something to a dog. This whole thing can go fuck itself.
That's 3. That's when they went off the rails anyway. But yeah, like the thing is, like I think like there's something with but yeah, basically like depending on the creature that it impregnates or whatever, is it more fucked up than them doing it to a human?
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, I mean that's the thing. The aliens, the facehuggers, if they attach themselves to something, and then that determines they take on traits of the host or whatever in the new xenomorph creatures and everything. So like, although that stuff is kind of fascinating, I would like to have seen like the home world of the aliens or something like that.
But
and they kind of took that away by having them created. What?
But then wouldn't there be people that go, I don't want to see where their homeworld is?
Well, I'd rather see...
What would their homeworld even look like? Just a bunch of them just crawling around going...
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, like, what it would look like, but that's the thing. Like, it would...
They wouldn't get much accomplished.
I would rather see that than I would... than like, just, oh, they were created in these little jars.
If it's just a planet of just those aliens, how long before they get bored?
Well, I mean,
and just start like building, and they become like us, where they got cell phones, and like it's just an alien sitting around going, like tweeting, like, and just like giggling at a funny picture, going,
yeah. I'd watch that movie too. Yeah, I don't know. I see. I just in
like
my
aliens
head,
wearing business suits.
In my head, that's always what it was. Is there was a planet off in space somewhere where these aliens originally came from.
Alien McDonald's.
Yeah. I don't, and maybe I'm misreading this whole thing. Maybe that stuff really is there. The engineers just found them or whatever. And like you pointed out, yeah, if the engineers created life and stuff like that, then maybe they created, maybe them creating the aliens is the same as them creating everything else.
All right, so picture this.
Right.
It's Alien World, right?
Yeah.
And it's enough time ago, but they got bored with just crawling around going... And so, like, they start building stuff. There's an alien McDonald's.
Yeah, of course.
And there's a drive-thru.
Yeah.
Alien with his family in there.
Yeah.
Right? He's just wearing, like, khakis and a polo shirt.
Yeah.
He just pulls up in his Subaru.
Yeah, of course.
Pulls up to the drive-thru and just into the mic, just... And then the alien on the other side goes...
Just back for...
Yeah. And then he pulls up to the thing and just hands him a little bag with his little alien hand.
Just the mouth comes out and grabs it.
Just... And then it goes back and like hands him some change. Just...
Yeah. If anyone wants to animate that for us, please do.
And then there's like a traffic jam, and you zoom in on one alien just kind of sitting there, just kind of tapping on his steering wheel, just like.
Come on, move.
And then wait, he goes, but like the subtext is like, I guess this guy will just come in now. I guess I'll let everybody in.
We're doing a lot of gestures. Like, what? Come on! Like, it's hard to
just let me in.
To sell that with just the whatever sound you've decided they make now.
And then they get home, and like, instead of a dog, it's the facehugger thing, and it's like jumping up on him.
Like down. Yeah, that's another version of the Alien movies I watch. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so. Yeah, so, I mean, we can talk about the ending of the movie. I know.
You know what I didn't like about it?
What?
I was thinking about it. When characters
let's explain it, like, in case someone hasn't seen the movie but still wants to listen to this for some reason. End of the movie, the last remaining survivors after all the aliens and all that stuff are, after they get away from them, after... there's a whole like they get off the planet, right? But the aliens like on the ship and they're trying to fly up and like Tennessee, Danny McBride's character comes down to save them, and like I don't know how he became he's the pilot. He's such a great pilot. He drove like shit during that whole thing. He was knocking statues over and like just he.
Well, there was a lot going on.
Yeah, but like when you're cutting and like shaking the camera around and stuff.
He had specifically said with the crane.
Yeah.
Like, if you let that thing off now, I'm not going to be able to steer very well because it'll throw off the balance of the whole ship.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I must have missed that part.
Yeah, he said, like, because the short-haired girl was like, unlock the crane or whatever she said.
Yeah.
So she could use it to, like, smack the alien or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, if you do that, I'm going to lose all balance.
Okay, I knew there was something I missed there or why that was... Yeah. Why that was so difficult for him to steer. And I'm like, he's supposed to be the pilot, right? He's driving like shit over here.
He took some Tylenol PM and then tried to fly it.
Yeah. I mean, all that stuff was great. I enjoyed those sequences and stuff. And then when they get up to the ship, everyone's, put down and everything. And like, it's just the couple of them like checking and stuff. And then like the alien's back, all that stuff as usual. They're never rid of it. They always have to throw it out of an airlock or something. Or throw it out into space. It's the only way to get rid of it.
As it drifts away, it just goes.
Just holding up the finger.
Can it breathe in space?
I don't know. I mean, only... That's usually how they kill him, though. Like, in the first movie, she had to shoot it out, but she attached it with, like, a grappling thing, and it was, like, getting blasted by the jets of the ship. Like, the plasma, it was really water, and it's really obvious that it was really water, but it looks like plasma and everything, so it just gets, like, just blasted with the plasma engines, and...
Super Soaker.
And then, for some reason, the only one I can remember how they get rid of the last one is... I watched them all recently, but when you watch them all like in a row like that, sometimes they all bleed together. She kills the queen and stuff when the whole thing just blows up and everything at the end. It's always either blowing it up or throwing it out of a ship, because they put a hole in the window in Resurrection, and it sucks the creature through that, and it just little by little just pulling it through the ship. Like, sucking in the air. That's I always like that. But yeah, like, they get rid of it. They drive that fucking machine into it and drive it out into the thing, and it's left behind. And
I would have started with open up the airlock.
What?
Like, they're running around a little bit in that room.
Yeah.
Shooting at it.
Well, yeah.
Started with, as soon as it's out there, blow the door!
Well, yeah, they had to get it in position and everything.
Nah, I would have just started early. Just said...
They also weren't out into the upper atmosphere yet, right? They were still just in the air and everything, weren't they?
Even if they weren't in the upper atmosphere, you just still open the door, shake it out.
They get rid of it, smash the thing into it, drive it out. It's been over a week since we've seen the movie, so I'm not remembering all the details exactly right. But, yeah, so then they get back to the ship, and they're all doing... And the whole time, the android, Walter, you think, is like, he because he was fighting on the planet.
Yeah.
Walter and David, there's the fight,
and
then you don't see the ending of the fight.
Of course.
Of course, so as soon as that happens, the whole time you know. All right,
or do you?
Well, yeah, you think, like, I mean, obviously I knew the whole time, and then...
obviously?
Well, yeah, I did. The whole time I was, like, waiting for the turn, and then, through the whole sequence, he's like in the cockpit or whatever, watching what's going on and helping them get rid of the alien and all this stuff. And he does all that, and it's like, okay, I mean, he's helping them, and you're waiting for him to do the one thing that, like, the one simple thing that screws them over and all that stuff, and then, like, he kind of seems relieved when they get rid of the alien. You're like, all right, is he relieved or is he kind of disappointed, and it just kind of reads as equally as relieved or whatever? And then they do the final reveal at the end when he's putting everyone away, like everyone's going back into cryo sleep or whatever, and she's the last one.
I don't like that at all.
She asks him about that she's going to help her build the cabin that we were talking about earlier on. They're going to build the cabin when they finally get where they're going.
I don't like that.
And you can tell he just didn't quite know what she was talking about, and then she figures it out right before she goes under.
There should have been some kind of override thing inside that little pod for just that occasion.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, yeah, that would be smart. Just on just such occasion that you find out that the person putting you under is a criminal mastermind.
Yeah.
A mustache twisting villain.
I didn't like that.
I did. Like,
just an awful feeling.
But it was like the whole time I was like, I saw it coming. I didn't hate it. I knew it was going to happen eventually, and I liked the way they did reveal it when they did. But the whole time, whenever you like it's the thing. Like, you don't see someone die, and you're just told they die off screen. They're not dead, and like there's rules like that in film that it's just obvious when like you don't see the two identical people are fighting, and you don't see the outcome of it. And one good, one bad, and like the good guy comes back, and oh yeah, we didn't see him kill the bad guy, but obviously that's what happened. Yeah, like obviously he is gonna be the bad guy.
I like the good one.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like there was things like that bugged me about this movie. Like I didn't hate the movie. There was a lot of things I liked in it, but
too many aliens.
All right, that's your review. Okay.
Too many aliens.
Oh, did we do? I mean, we did our ratings on on Alien Kevin on our video review. I gave it a 6 out of 10.
I don't remember what I gave it, but it's probably.
I think you gave it a 6. You said 6.5 or 7.
Yeah, that was based on like the quality of it.
Yeah. Well, that's what film reviews are.
Not real. I mean,
usually,
it can be like quality of it or how much you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the reviews are more so how your personal feelings on the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I don't want to watch it again.
I know. You said that, yeah. You don't like fun things.
Fun things.
Yeah, the movie was fun. It just
Guardians of the Galaxy was fun. I loved the hell out of that.
Yeah.
This Aliens movie was not fun. Everyone got hurt.
All right, if you like this episode of the podcast, please do us a favor. Go on iTunes. If you haven't already, please click subscribe and leave us a review. This is the most important thing you can do that can help people find this show. The more positive reviews we get, the more likely people are to find it. Help us out, please. If you do that, we'll give you a button. If you're watching on YouTube, like this video and subscribe to our channel and leave a comment. I never say that, but leave a comment. Share this show with your friends on social media and follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/The Amazing Nerdiverse. We're on Instagram at Amazing Nerdiverse, and on Twitter, I'm Jeff_Grants.
I'm at Steven Tukert.
And we are at Nerdiverse Pod. And finally, make sure to check out theamazingnerdiverse.com for all that and very little more. And until next time, I'm Jeff Grants.
I'm Steven Tukert.
We'll catch you right here next time in The Amazing Nerdiverse.
Hit 'em. And scene.